Another guy you've had some verbal spats with that's been very publicized is Oscar De La Hoya. And I think it goes back to, I think he said you blocked a fight with he and George St. Pierre. Is that where it started from? Or
talk about Jake Paul. Like, me and Jake Paul have had whatever.
Right.
You know, Jake Paul's a kid that's out doing his thing. He's trying to make some money,
Right.
whatever his deal is. Oscar De La Hoya
okay.
is a two-faced lion fucking nut job, you know? And yeah, me and Oscar are never going to be cool.
Y'all never gonna be cool again.
Never, ever.
But were you cool?
Look at anybody who's ever dealt with Oscar De La Hoya. I don't know if that guy literally has any fucking buddy who's his real friend.
Were you guys ever cool at any point in time?
We're cool. I mean, obviously, for all the things I think about De La Hoya personally, you know, as a fighter, Oscar was a bad
he
dude.
was. He was.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Oscar was the real deal. But as a human being, completely different. He and I would go to his fights. I used to promote his fights on my social. I was watching the fight or whatever. Then I go to do Mayweather versus McGregor, and he starts shitting on the fight, yet saying, I would fight McGregor, though. So
yeah,
he's just, I mean, if you look at the history between me and him, you know, I'm going to get into MMA
right.
and pay these guys what they deserve to be paid. No, he didn't. And, you know, the guys that were involved in that fight all got fucked.
Right.
He didn't pay them more than they ever made in their careers. He didn't even know half the guys' fucking names on the card. And the list goes on and on with that guy.
Khabib, he retired. Do you think there's ever a chance that Khabib would come back and fight? Is there a number that you can say, Khabib, we got 20 million, we got 25 million?
I threw the numbers at him, trust me. Habib has more money than he'll ever spend. He doesn't need to fight again. And I think that he sort of lost the desire when his father passed away. And I think it was a father-son thing.
Yeah.
That he had with his dad. And also, he's such a good human being that he is truly happy for Islam.
Right.
And what Islam is. And he is fulfilled enough that was his dad's dream, that Habib would reign, then would come Islam. And it's all playing out exactly the way they planned it. I think Habib's in a good place in his life.
Ronda Rousey.
Yep. Greatest athlete I've ever worked with.
Wow. What did she mean for the UFC?
She was huge at the right time and the right place. And women's fighting is where it is today because of her. And she was one of those athletes, like, anything, anywhere, anytime. She was a workhorse, great human being, brilliant. Yeah. The greatest athlete I've ever worked with.
Were you sad when she stepped away?
I was sad that I wouldn't work with her on a daily basis like we did, but I felt like the timing was right. She had done everything she set out to do, not just for her and her career, but what she did for women in fighting in general.
Right. And you see Amanda Nunes come in, and I watched that fight, and I'm looking at the capabilities that Amanda had versus what Ronda.
Well, what happened with Ronda was very unique in that she came in and put this thing on the world stage. This thing being women fighting.
Women fighting, yeah.
She put it on the world stage.
Correct.
Right? At a level that nobody else could have ever done it. And while she was doing what she was doing, building the sport and the UFC and women, all these other women were training to beat her. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She had taken so much on her shoulders at the time. It was literally impossible for her to keep growing as a fighter during that period.
Right. So now we see UFC fighters becoming movie stars. We see Ronda Rousey. We've mentioned to her, Conor McGregor. He was in his own movie. Ronda's been in several movies. Mm-hmm. Are you pleased with, do you like that your fighters, UFC, that they're becoming so big that they're able to brand out and even grow the UFC even more?
Well, you have Conors and Rondas that are very unique.
Yes.
It's hard to take those two and compare them to all the rest.
Right.
If you look at, we already talked about Conor, but if you look at Ronda, she came in and blew the UFC up for women, opened the doors for all women to come in. She's written books that have been New York Times bestsellers. She's written, she just wrote a screenplay for her own story. She went into the WWE and became a star.
Yeah.
Sponsorship deals she's done. There's things Ronda's done that will never be done again. So you're looking at very unique.
Very, very unique situations.
Right.
Everybody's not going to, but you know, Dana, you know, everybody comes with the aspirations of being, if they're female, being Ronda Rousey or being Conor McGregor.
As you should. And what happened with Nunes, I love Amanda Nunes. We have an incredible relationship.
Is she coming back?
Huh?
Is she coming back?
She could come back. There's a possibility she could come back. But again, a very unique individual in her own right. You know, very powerful woman that is looked at as the GOAT now in female fighting. You know, married to another female fighter. So very inspirational and big in the gay and lesbian community. You know, now a mother. You know, she blazed her own trail in UFC. Like, everybody's journey is different and not the same, you know, as an athlete and as a human.
I read that you were the one that really got Rock into social media.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with The Rock?
I have a great relationship with him. You know, we probably talk a couple times a month. And yeah, at the time he wasn't on social media. And I was like, are you nuts? Do you have any idea how big you would be on social media? And da-da-da-da-da. And I actually, the people that ran my social media, I put on his to get him up and started and kind of get him going. And obviously, you know, the guy's a trailblazer now in social media and one of the biggest followed humans on earth.
Right. And he loves UFC because he's doing a doc. Isn't he doing a doc on like Mark Kerr?
No, he's doing a film.
Yeah,
a film based on the Smashing Machine. Yeah.
Right. Did you have any influence on that? Did you like?
I wouldn't say that I influenced it. That was all him, but I've obviously helped behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Power slap. Oh,
I love it. I love it.
I mean, there are very few times that there are two slaps. It's normally just one slap, Dana.
No. It's like 50-50. Yeah, go to decisions or knockouts. Yeah, there's way more back and forth than people realize, because all you see on social is the viral side of it.
Yeah.
But this thing is a beast. It's the most successful thing that I have ever been a part of in my career in such a short amount of time. In 16 months. This thing's only 16 months old. We have more followers than like the NHL, PGA, NASCAR, and many, many others. And we're about to take over Major League Baseball too here pretty soon on all social platforms, and billions of views in just 16 months. The EBITDA on this thing is off the charts. The revenue is unbelievable. And we have more sponsors in 16 months than the UFC had in 8 years.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because you know we like to do something before two something.